You're listening to Productivity Monsters in the Morning. We are the energy volt your real estate business needs to get you up and out and excited and productive for the day. We go over trending topics and things that really matter in the market of the moment. Here are your hosts, Tiffany Hampton and Brooke Silva.
Good morning. How are you?
Seasonal allergies. Anybody else? Any of our friends have fall allergies? Even though with this
August 31st.
Yeah, with this soggy summer, I feel like spring allergies never went away because of all the mold and the nasty humidity. But back to school, back to allergies.
Yep, back to reality.
Yep.
So
it feels good and it's weird though. I crave routine at the highest level. But getting everybody back into routine, whew.
Well, and we also learned it's a lot easier to do routine for one than routine for five. Like all the kids are back in sports and they're all at the same time. And, the summer it was quiet. And now we're like, well, you have to be here. And who wants to really live? I mean, I guess there are people, but I enjoy relaxation.
Yeah, I enjoy it's funny. Hope is a very I say she's wild and crazy. She is a free spirit, but our house is actually really quiet.
Mm-hmm.
People think our house is crazy.
Because
Our
of
house,
you.
yeah, but we talk a lot as a family, but we don't have like yelling and tantrums. I don't know how I did this, but my children have never taken tantrums, not one of them.
Yep.
And I am blessed. I don't know if it's just because I've always been so attuned into, are they tired? I've never had a screaming meltdown in my household or out in public or any of those things. And Hope said to me after going to some of the friends' houses this summer, their houses are really a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And it's funny because everybody thinks I'm a big energy.
You are a big energy.
I admit it. I'm not everybody's cup of tea, but our house is fun energy but we have routine. And I think that's what keeps us in such a calm place is that I've shared them with you so you could share them with coaching clients. Hope has checklists. I have checklists. There's no yelling, why aren't you doing this? Where are you? Why haven't you brushed your teeth? It's where are you on your checklist?
Yep.
And that means, and there's a lot of adults in this house telling a little person what to do every day. So I've given my kids the ability to have control over what they're supposed to be doing, but in a way that is still controlled by me, right? It's controlled chaos. So it's been yesterday was the first day back to school, and man, there was a lot of hiccups, a lot of interrupted days yesterday. Things to pivot and get used to, and changes, and whew, I went to bed and passed out. I was exhausted from all the change yesterday.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it was the first day of school for quite the few. Which kind of conversates into what we talked about last night on one of my coaching calls. We love our acronyms.
Yep.
Have a new one. I'm going to teach you a new one.
I'm ready. I'm going to put it in my notes. I'm ready.
So it's L.A.C.I, L-A-C-I.
Okay.
L stands for limiting beliefs. A stands for assumptions.
Ooh, assumptions is the worst word on the planet.
Yep. C stands for a critical inner voice.
I don't know if I like this already. I feel like
I have stands for interpretation.
Talk about a hard word to spell. Mm-hmm. Spell check.
And essentially the conversation went around. We talked a lot about when you're coaching someone, like, is it a limiting belief? Is it an assumption? Is it a critical inner voice, or is it an interpretation? And you walk that fine line. Is it comes in sounding like a limiting belief or an assumption, and it's an interpretation. And where we get in trouble with this is that we take L.A.C.I and we bring it into community. So in the world of real estate, you know, and it can happen in any business, but in the world of real estate, what's the biggest comments going around about what's going on in the industry?
Right. There's no houses, no buyers can get things, nobody sell, there's all this, but yeah, how come I have people who are killing it?
Well, yeah. And so, you know, when somebody says, and this was one that came out, oh, I can't, none of my buyers will win because all the offers are cash. Right. And then I went and I got the facts
Always
around
was.
it. 74% weren't cash. So
Right.
the questions you ask around that, is it true? Can you absolutely know it's true? How do you react to it? What happens when you believe that thought? And who would you be without that thought?
You know, it's funny you say that because we are having some changes within our software. There's some different things. And these are questions we could be asking of our leaders. These are questions I am going to beg you to come on Friday's call and talk to our market center tech trainers about.
Yeah, because here's the deal. We take L.A.C.I and we put it into our community. So what, you know, and in our world, we have OPs, we have TLs, we have agents, we have leadership, right? Like, so what is the interpretation that the OP has that he's delivering to the team leader, that the team leader is delivering to the leadership, that the leadership's delivering to the agents? So now we have a community that could potentially believe that 100% of deals are cash. And that's a far extreme. Nobody really believes that understands and knows the business. And yet, you know, the other thing is with new coaching clients, right? When new agents come into this business, they don't know anything. But if you put them in a room
With negative.
and somebody's putting out their limiting beliefs or somebody's making assumptions and then you're interpreting it, are you selling people short on what their capability is by having the wrong conversation?
So let's talk about it this way because this can be brought into any business
Oh yeah.
actually as well. So before coming to you guys, I worked at an IT company and we did everything from selling to educating to cloud to help desk. And believe it or not, help desk was my favorite thing to do. And it's funny because I didn't go to school for IT, like help desk stuff, but because of my background and all the different things I did, it was an easy thing. And I adored it. And one of the things we had to teach our new IT help desk techs was when somebody calls and says everything's broken, nothing's working, their first thing was to like hit the panic button. We've got to send a technician out. And we were very expensive for on site. If you sent me, that was a $250 an hour minimum, 1 hour minimum.
Yep.
Okay. So now we had to coach and this is I loved this company for this because it wasn't training, it was coaching. And they said that from day one. It was we had to coach our help desk technicians to say certain things. And it wasn't canned and it wasn't cold. And I think that's what some of our friends in this world feel like is when they ask questions, they may seem cold. But remember, this is a relationship, but not a friendship. This is a business transaction. So is it true that nothing works and everything is broken? So we would say things like, well, are you the only person experiencing this, or have you received multiple calls from other people? Can you validate that it's not working for everyone? Because and a phrase like that works across the board.
Mm-hmm.
I am so proud of some of the people I started in this business with. They're on news channels. They are giving for how to get first-time homebuyer tips out there. They are in the top 1% of our region. So when people say, I can't get my buyers, this man is doing nothing different than the next person, only he's sticking to the MREA and he doesn't give in to limiting beliefs either.
Right.
He
Or
knows
interpretations or assumptions.
He's got the positive assumptions. I am going to find my buyer a home.
Right.
will it, and I've been in some of his buyer presentations. They are fantastic and practical, and he helps them set expectations. If everybody went into every business transaction in any world setting expectations, it's something as simple. The other day I tweet like 18 minutes to get a coffee, like in a quick thing, like, but the person behind the counter who's the manager said, hey, we had a person get burnt this morning, and I had to have one of my staff drive that person to the emergency room. I'm going to ask you for just a little bit of patience with us because it's down to 2 of us instead of 4.
Right.
So, me in line, oh my God, is that person okay? Right? Like, all of a sudden, I'm thinking, should I go back there and start pouring coffees? Right?
Don't do it.
That was a coffee shop.
Yeah.
Folks, we're going to ask for your patience. She was loud about it. There was a whole group of people, right? Like, and you know what she was doing too? She was offering them, hey, for this, do you want a donut on the house? And most people said no, right? So she didn't end up wasting product or having to expectations and assumptions. If she'd assumed everybody was just going to be mad at her, she probably wouldn't have had the voice to say, friends, we're struggling. We need your help with patience. We're going to get to you, but it may take a minute. We understand if you have to leave.
Yeah. And we can spend like hours and hours in each one of them. Like the limiting belief one, where do limiting beliefs come from?
Oh, everywhere. It could be from your past, from lack of confidence, from things other people have told you.
Yeah.
We live in a world with messaging, but the messaging is not always correct.
Well, and the person who did the training, he's very passionate about the pursuit of happiness, the movie. Have you watched that movie, The Pursuit of Happiness?
I have not.
Will Smith?
I'm one of those weirdos. I watch almost zero TV or movies.
Okay, well,
I watch.
I will find the video because you don't need to watch the whole thing. But everything that we talk about really shows up in that video because he was the video that's played over YouTube all over the place. It was him and his son, and they were in a basketball court, and he said, you're never going to be tall enough. You could keep trying, you're wasting your time. And he just went down this as a father to a son. And he was delivering his own limiting beliefs that he was told as a child to his son. And then you watch the walk of the son who went from angry and disappointed and discouraged and all these different things. So we have to be careful with our words.
We really do. Words hurt, words help. They are the sharpest weapon in our arsenal. And it took me a very long time to be able to hone emotion. The things that are said to me on a daily basis could break people. The way some agents speak, the way some leadership speak, and the other thing is the written word. Sometimes we use L.A.C.I in the written word probably more than we should. And instead of picking up the phone and validating those things, we jump to conclusions. Was conclusions on there?
No. Well, interpretation is conclusions, right? We
You're
take
right.
our interpretation. So, and a perfect example is, you're trying to grow a team and your goal, one of the team members is like, I just want to do 200 deals with the team. And that team owner is like, we can't do 200 deals, right? Nobody in this market has done 200 deals. Nobody in this market center has done 200 deals. It reminded me of the 4-minute mile conversation, right? Like the 4-minute mile was broken. Never thought it could be broken. And who do you have to become to do that? We have a really bad habit as a society to throw our limiting beliefs and our assumptions and our critical inner voice and our interpretations on the rest of the world, what would our life look like? Like how many people, I look back in like all the years of coaching, how many people didn't become the greatest real estate agent they could because of those 4 items?
It's sad.
Yeah.
It's sad.
Yeah. So stop it.
It is. Stop it. It's one of those, it takes thought and it takes care. And I think when you start doing things like the Miracle Morning and Savers and getting coached, you start to recognize those thoughts and behaviors and I call it self-sabotaging, right? Right. Like we would call it what you want. But there have been times where you do it to me, I do it to you. I call you and I say, I'm struggling with something. I know I shouldn't be, but I need another voice to pick me up. And that is not an easy thing to do. It
Right.
is, we have been molded and taught in our corporate life that emotion does not belong in the business world. And instead, coming to KW, you are taught to lead with heart and happy over hustle. And it's a new way of living.
Right.
It's the other day I had to make a decision, and the decision wasn't hard for the first time in a long time because it was God, family, business, and family will always take precedence over business. And the choice I had to make became a no-brainer, and I chose happy over what could have made money, but at the end of the day, it's not worth any cent to be without the family.
Right.
And hope doesn't, I wasn't on my phone, right? Like I'm not doing these things. I'm not working past 5 o'clock. I'm not. And the L.A.C.I that caught up to me all those years ago when we started working together was nothing's going to be solved after 5 o'clock in your world.
Yeah.
But the pain and destruction that comes along with what you're doing will last forever on your family.
Well, and when you're in line with your mindset, like I look at my calendar now, and you've seen the highs and lows of my calendar.
Yeah, it's barf worthy. Mine is. I need to I need to just. I want to control alt delete my calendar and start fresh.
Well, and I just recently did that because I was giving too many one-on-ones power over my one thing that I needed to do.
We do
So
that often, and our market center tech trainers do it, and our team leaders do it. Everybody does it because it's. I'm not giving best service.
yeah. And now my Fridays are completely empty for a new project, and half of my Thursdays are completely empty for a new project because I went through, what are the limiting beliefs around being there for everybody? What are the assumptions? What is the critical thinking that I'm doing to myself? And then what interpretations am I making? We always say you can't control your first thoughts, but you absolutely can control everything you do after that first thought. So I don't know. We'll spend some time. I really liked that conversation, and I think more people need to hear it.
Yeah, I think they do. And I think it's okay to talk about it over and over and over. So then I will see you on Friday for the Market Center Tech Trainer call.
Send me an invite. Because I cleared my Fridays for new projects. So I will gladly give you my time, though, because I think that's a conversation we need to have with all leadership.
It's coming to you right now.
All right. Have a fantastic Thursday.
You too. And I'll see you tomorrow, and have a fantastic long weekend. No working on Labor Day.
No working on Labor Day.
No working on Labor Day. You have a great day.
Bye.
Bye.